Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles 2, where we discuss manifestation in general and where I will eventually go live, voice only. This is an audio only channel. So help me reach 50, 50 subscribers so we can make this happen. I would love to go live here and answer your questions. But hello, my name is Anna. I've created Magic and Miracles 4 years ago here on YouTube. I've been a coach total 10 years. And I really fell in love with my clients that I met here on YouTube and stuck around a lot longer than I was planning to, and created specifically for the YouTube clientele a coaching program which is very bite-sized and manageable, which you can accomplish covering in 2 to 3 months, which I recommend. It's a real deep dive. You will be really happy that you did it. A lot can be accomplished. I don't want to brag, but I've been told that I accomplish way more than any coach or any therapist. Not to say that I'm a substitute for therapy. I'm not saying that. And if you need therapy, please go do that. But I've heard that over and over again. And I really pride, not myself necessarily, but I pride the process that I put my clients through because I've been through it myself. So it's a simple formula. When something works, it just continues working. It's just show up and do your work. In that sense, I cannot do your push-ups for you. So all the information for that will be below. You can either book 1 hour to rendezvous and converse with me about your goals and coaching, or you can just, if you're confident enough after watching my content, book 1 month. And that is always a good idea because I'm only one person and you do need to pre-book my time so that I factor you into my schedule. It's as simple as that. If you have any questions regarding that, my email is directly below. So I'm really, really inspired to talk about quantum leaping. Okay, everybody wants to know how to quantum leap themselves, I'm sure, out of one situation into another, etc., right? One thing I want to start with is, if you're one of those people to whom right now it's a challenge to accept that we live in a very different world than we've been taught that we live in, that this is just a dream. This is another dream parallel to many other dreams, many lives, in other words, that you're living out. And all of it is really a lot of fun. Okay. Nothing really in that sense is to be taken so seriously that you fall apart inside. And that I really want to stress because I see myself in almost all of my clients. The thing that really strikes me about this state of fragility inside is that the outside, this mirage, this hologram, this dream somehow can affect you. You understand? So, and that's the illusion. That's what, we're ultimately learning, that it is just an illusion, but that you're also very much in charge of the illusion. That's another thing that we're not taught. It even sounds egotistical. I don't mean it that way at all. I think it becomes a lot more fun to play this game and to be in this dream if you understand those two things, that it is a dream, it is a game, and it's not so personal. It's just an exercise, a fun trip into this realm, this dimension, with a certain kind of, yes, agenda, you could say, certain kinds of choices, that you pre-selected doesn't mean you have to keep them, okay? You can always transfer yourself into another dream, right? If you feel like whatever, just switching over all of a sudden. You have that authority, and I've done that many, many different times. Like literally becoming a totally different person. Like you will look back at your version today and you will be like, I have no clue what was in this person's mind. I'm telling you. Okay, like for example, right now, I mean, it's obvious. It's been years, you could say, but literally no connection to myself. Let's just even say, I don't know, 10 years ago. No connection whatsoever. Totally different person. But so what if you can achieve that though? Not in 10 years, but in a few months. All right? Like 2 or 3 months, I'm telling you. And coincidentally, that's the amount of time I recommend in my coaching, but not for nothing. True story. Okay. So if you will remember that this is just a dream, first of all, I want to emphasize nothing is impossible. So as much as your current situation like really does look like a shit show, and I'm sure that it might be, okay, and maybe there's more emotion in it than it really is a shit show, but it feels like a shit show to you, it could change. It feels like it can't right now, but that's ultimately what you're going to have to focus on, right? If I am to quantum leap, I have to look beyond what my physical mind tells me right now. The stubborn human mind, that's the other trick, if you will, or the other thing to remember is that your physical mind and your soul, two different situations. Okay. And something, not for nothing, but it took me all the way to be in my 40s now that I can like finally separate the two so well that I get to ignore completely my 3D based mind, and basically my soul takes over because the higher self, the soul knows best. Okay? So always look beyond your stubborn human mind. Overlook that completely because it's just there throwing at you some statistics of fucking yesterday. What do we give a shit about that? It's not only that, it's throwing out statistics about that world. Key keywords. It's for that world that's accurate, but you're not interested in that world. In that world, yeah, it's a shit show after a shit show. So what is the key element here? You pose an ideal or a goal so big that it dwarfs your problem completely, that it makes it like an ant, that you can step on. In other words, how can I make this problem obsolete? Who do I have to become? In what way do I have to start thinking? What do I have to accept as part of it being inevitable? That this problem, this so-called shit show situation, it's obsolete. It makes no sense. It's like yesterday's newspaper, you know, fall leaves deteriorating into the ground kind of situation. And side note here, you will find that the problem, the so-called problem, the shit show arose like after you will achieve your manifestation. You will see how the shit show situation actually prompted you to achieve what you ought to have achieved, even bigger, even higher. I mean, sometimes people are just not pissed off enough, I'm so serious. Sometimes you're just not uncomfortable enough. And so the universe makes it happen for you. So you quantum leap to your destiny. So what would really satisfy you? Not just for the moment, not just for whatever, even the next year. Like what are you really after here? I think. Not for a quick fix, but something that will change your life so dramatically that fine, there's going to be another quantum leap, but it's not going to be such a change. How do you, in other words, get rid of this fucking cycle that you're struggling with at this juncture? Basically becoming a completely different person. And so what happens is There are many ways that I help my clients achieve this in coaching, but you're rewriting your history to match up with this new version that you're going to become, to whom these problems, they don't exist. They don't exist. That they're, like I'm telling you, it's yesterday's newspaper. It's even, understatement of the century. This was never your problem. You understand? And so each individual will be very different. I mean, what's believable to one person won't be believable to the other. But there's certain things that you can tweak within your history right now that essentially will, because the past has changed, in quotations, because you reinterpreted it emotionally, it puts you on a whole other trajectory to another timeline. So you get connected to the timeline in which it makes sense that you understand, you get X, Y, and Z, because that's how it has always been. It was always the norm. By highlighting certain things in your past that make sense, that this has always been your norm. I mean, let's face it, we're already doing it anyway. We're highlighting certain things. It's been proven by scientists and all this kind of jazz experiments. It's like you get what focus more on. So, but when you start looking for these things, which again, no doubt are present in your history right now, if you start highlighting those things and reinterpreting to align yourself with the consciousness of that person for whom this gigantic quantum leap, this major life change, this upgrade, it would fit like a glove. It's not something, you know what I mean, breathtaking. This is regular. It's a regular world. It's a regular day in their life. And I think the work is that when you make these decisions, it's your job to cement those things into your mind, thus making them your destiny. There's no such thing as destiny. The destiny is whatever you want it to be. Whatever you choose to focus on will be your destiny. That's it. But it's just like Neville said, a change of feeling is a change of destiny. It's basically how the tonality changed from I have no idea how it's going to happen to I don't give a fuck how it's going to happen. I'm just going to completely highlight that energy of that person for whom this has always been like this. Like, notice how there's no struggle. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to become somebody you already are not. Because there's a version of you who, if you will continue tapping in and day out and building out this emotional foundation, that's all that's taking your time. And it should take time because we're human. We live in 3D, so don't rush yourself. It's just your adjustment like literally your body is going through several frequencies even. Like, I don't know about you, when I quantum leap, I always, right before and right after, my body just, it needs a lot of rest. I really need to lay down. Yeah, this type of situation. So your body very much needs this time to adjust to a new idea. It's not just an idea in the logical sense, in the mental situation, but it's a whole other energy. You're upgrading in energy. And during this time, I mean, I for myself can say that I see a lot of dreams. And at any point in time in this journey of adjusting, you see dreams. I mean, I do. I don't know about you, of different versions of timelines still. Within that timeline, there's different other variations, I guess, of parallel realities, we could say, and a completely different timeline on occasion. And maybe, letting you know, hey, if you continue feeling this way and you don't change your tune, this is the timeline you're joining, because you're going to feel the like in the dream, you're going to feel the frequency, and you're going to feel what it's like. And it most certainly, it probably is, it's a warning, basically, like if you go down that path, this is what awaits you. So change the tune. So at any point, you already have like pre-built worlds that are ready to go in motion. It's so crazy. This is what I really wanted to say. In my dreams, it's exactly how it was in the movie Inception. Like when with Leonardo DiCaprio and all the other guys, how they built out the world. I mean, they did it in, Hollywood, a little bit dramatic always. But it's exactly like this. You are an architect of all of your dreams, of all of your worlds. It's so fascinating. I knew this since I was a child, that I have many different lives. And but maybe towards, like, maybe in my 30s, I realized that you're building worlds out there, on the other side. It's a whole situation. You're building your destiny right now, and there's a whole, like, imagine like a never ending space of, I mean, basically movie sets, and everything is already like pre-built, ready to go, any different variation, you name it. So it's really fun. It changes your perspective on reality, like what reality even is. It just makes you more, what it goes back to. It just makes you more aware of loving yourself enough to let go of things from other worlds, from other dreams. Even this reality that you're occupying right now will seem like a dream one time, at one point. But I think the reason people can't get out of a certain cycle is also because they're not letting go of something. There's something like really keeps them stuck. It's true story. You just, why? Because you're sharing resonance. There's some kind of a tonality, and I know it's listen, I know we're all human. It's easier said than done, but I'm just, letting you know what to work on. If you're in the process of this, letting go of something heavy, you know, maybe it's grief, maybe it's regret, maybe it's disappointment, maybe whatever. But it's like you have to get excited about life again. You have to find things to look forward to. You have to animate this new dream that you have waiting for you, with excitement, with love, with passion. So when you have maybe unforgiveness of self, maybe whatever, but it's heavy duty and you feel it, day in and day out, this heaviness. I mean, how can you quantum leap like this? You can't. You really can't. And you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to quantum leap just to get rid of your problems. You're supposed to really smooth out the energy of how you're feeling, by taking action, by processing all of this, by letting go of, forgiving all of these things that are the residual from the other timeline. They won't let you go anywhere until you just, with compassion towards yourself, towards others, just completely relinquish that and just say, I forgive myself and I set myself free, or I forgive them and I set them free and set myself free, whatever. However, whatever suits your situation the most. Or I'm willing to change timelines, because reality is like that holographic universe in which you're quantum leaping. Like I said, it's already there. It's already waiting for you. Your energy is already there. It's just right here. There's still something that perhaps it still, weighs heavy on you. So work on that. But it is about this excitement that you're going to bring to the table. It is about how is my life going to be different now? How am I going to be feeling waking up in this life, like that I'm quantum leaping to? And more mimicking that timeline, rendezvousing with it with energy. And at first blush, it's going to be really like, whoa, yeah, this is, I'm feeling some type of way. I'm feeling really uncomfortable, maybe even. Maybe I'm even overwhelmed. Maybe all sorts of fucking shit is gonna float up and tell you you're not worthy, not you, this and any other. Just remember that you're a soul with many different dreams. There's no such thing as you don't deserve it. It's whether you, again, I'm telling you this right now, whether you are learning in the process what you need to learn to upgrade to the next level, and therefore not getting stuck with things like, unforgiveness, anger towards yourself, this, that, and the other. It's purposeless. Whatever it is, you can always let go of all of these things and start brand new. And there's no such moment like right now moment, like they always say, like the now moment, because it's in the now that you get to decide, I am brand new. I'm not because, again, I lack responsibility or, you know what I mean, want to run away, but because I'm starting afresh. I'm going to go to this timeline where my dream is alive right now. And where am I going? I'm not going physically anywhere. I'm going there in consciousness. I'm letting it wash over me. I'm letting it guide me. I'm letting it change my point of view. I'm letting it challenge my beliefs. I'm letting it restructure me. How's that? And you really need to be fearless in these quantum leaps. I got news for you. Because there's going to be things that this new energy will not tolerate. And you're going to have to accept that certain people might have to go, certain ways that you do things might have to go. You're going to have to upgrade. But when you're welcoming change like this with open arms, rather than getting into these 3D situations like labeling things as bad, and look at the big picture. Look at who you are becoming. If you are displeased right now, congratulations, because it's the displeasure that brings progress. So it's not about, poor me. No, congratulations, you, because now you're asking for more. Just make sure that you ask big enough. It means on this level, you've exhausted everything there was to learn. Congratulations, you're going to the next round. But when I'm telling you, it doesn't have to make any sense. Like you right now, you might be feeling out of sorts, grumpy, this, that, and the other. It's impossible, dooba dooba doo. And yet, where you are right now seemed impossible at some point. Did it not? Did it not? Yeah, it did. So it's the same exact situation. Whatever you think that you want, quadruple that, quintuple that. Just go above and beyond. In other words, let it thrill you. Let it really fill you with such energy of excitement that you don't care how. That it really does something for you. That it's such a thrill. Oh, that would really blow my mind. Oof, yeah. I can I can really like that kind of situation. Okay, not what you think that you ought to want, but what you really want. And consequently, you will see how, when you really join that mindset, you will see your current problems as stepping stones, as things that actually help you get upgraded in order to be able to handle your new life. Without those situations, you would not, I'm telling you, universe makes no mistakes. God makes no mistakes. It puts you in the position that it puts you to get the best out of it, to prepare you, to sharpen you, to really help you quantum leap in a sense. Just if you're tired, go lay down, take a rest. Tomorrow, try again. Just don't ever stop, is the point. Don't ever stop. Like, once you decided, persevere in one direction. Here and there, you might fall off, but the dedication has to be, this is my destiny. Once I've chosen, if you want to be a person of destiny, once you've chosen, it's game over. You don't have to announce it to anybody. It's just the inner knowing, the inner commitment to your dream. And at the end of all of this process, you will be so happy that you stuck it out, because let me tell you something. Once you experience this quantum leap, again, you will turn around and you will see yourself and you'll be like, whoa, I'm so glad I stuck it out, because I don't know who this person is anymore. I'm so happy to be me, just like that. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me again is below. Until next time, ciao, ciao.